morning. Welcome to my 30-day pranayama challenge. Today's day 4. And what we've been working on are the interoceptive cues of pranayama. So before we get into any techniques, we've been starting with the sensations of the breath and how that can inform the pranayama practice and really make it a lot more subtle. So that's why I'm calling this the subtle secrets of pranayama. And if you've been following the challenge, or if today's the first day you're here, I'd really appreciate if you'd leave a comment or question. So I'm doing this both on Instagram and on my Facebook page at the same time, killing 2 pranayama birds with one stone. So feel free to leave comments either place, and I'll definitely get to them. So some of the things we've been talking about so far are sensations between the nose and the upper lip, and I like to call the nostrils the gates, because that's the place where there's a that's the place where what is outside of you becomes what's inside of you. So it's that shifting point, and very important point in terms of the interoceptive awareness of pranayama practice and deepening the subtlety of the practice. Then we talked about the sinuses a little bit, and we've talked about the space at the Agya chakra, at the 6th chakra, and how that's an important point of pranayama. And today I want to talk about the nostrils and the difference in the breathing of the nostrils. So what the yoga tradition says is when the left nostril is more active or more open, that's called the Ida flow, and the Ida means the moon channel. And the moon channel corresponds roughly to the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, or I should say perhaps to taking the foot or putting the foot on the vagal brake of the parasympathetic part of the nervous system. So when the left side is more open, tends to be a good time for meditation, tends to be a good time for thinking and also going to sleep. So can be good to lie on the right side when you're going to sleep. And then the right nostril correlates with what's called the Pingala. The Pingala is the sun channel or the lunar channel. It has to do with activity. It has to do with sort of the more cognitive or more, actually, I don't even want to say cognitive. It's really more physical activity, good for digesting food, and also for moving your body. So when that right side is a little bit more open, then that may not be as useful a time to practice pranayama and meditation, but it's still fine. You can start to see how these things change through the practices. And some people have some blockages or deviations in the septum, which can create more permanent or challenging openness to the nostrils. Now, the nostril cycles vary throughout the day, so you'll have more on the left side at certain times, and it's a cycle, and then you'll have more on the right side, and it tends to cycle. And then there are times when you'll feel more both nostrils open equally. So for today's practice, what we're going to do is kind of explore that flow, and you're welcome to sit tall wherever you are. If you'd like to sit on the floor, that's fine. And start to soften the shoulders and also soften the muscles in the face, and see if you can tune into some of these places that we have been going over the past few days. For example, here between the nose and the lip, or in the sinuses, again, in the third eye sinuses, or around the sinuses in your cheek. Just kind of take a moment and tune into those areas where we've been paying attention, bringing more awareness, more of that interoceptive awareness. And then the next thing is to notice the spaciousness in the nose, and not the whole nasal cavity here, but just in the nose, the right side and the left side. You're welcome to soften or close your eyes if that's helpful. It can be really helpful to shut off the visual cortex in order to tune in more interoceptively to other signals in the body. The breath and the air certainly stroke and create sensations in the nose. So that's what we're paying attention to here. So do you notice more right side or more left side? What do you notice right now as you're breathing? Inhale and exhale, what you're noticing more. Or maybe you're noticing them equally, that's fine. And then we'll shift the focus just to the right nostril. So Even though breath is still coming in through both, what about sort of focusing or imagining or visualizing more coming in through the right side? And then how does that feel? And also leaving through the right side. And if you continue to do this for a while, you'll start to be able to open the passages just through that visualization. You know, it's not magic. It's just using interoceptive awareness to create feedback loops to your brain. Maybe a little magic too, but mostly it's interoceptive awareness. And then after doing that for a few breaths, then we'll shift over to the left nostril. And again, it's the same, that same sort of open awareness, visualization, as if you're breathing the breath. You're just taking the breath in through the left nostril and out through the left nostril. Of course, it's probably coming in through the right too. There are yogis eventually who practice this for a while who are able to manipulate the breath so that it only comes in through one side. Without using their hands, without doing Nadi Shodhana with their hands. And so after doing the left side for a little while, now let's do both equally. So see if you can visualize the breath coming in through both sides equally and leaving through both sides equally. Maybe one or two more breaths here. And when you finish, then just take a moment before you open or raise your eyes to notice how you feel. Notice sort of more of a global sensations, global feelings in your body. Okay, so feel free to leave a comment. Tell me how you feel after doing that practice. I would love to have your feedback. And when we come back tomorrow, we're going to start talking about, this is the fourth day. We've just been in the face for 4 days. I mean, that's how much you can, how deep you can go. So tomorrow we're going to go to talk about the back of the nasal cavity and the esophagus. So we have a little bit, we'll go a little further into the respiratory apparatus tomorrow. Thanks for being here. See you tomorrow. Namaste.